a Tesla car. So my homeboy James got me this. Now, L, come on, baby.
You have to tell Elle everything in there belongs to her.
No. Say, hey, baby. Well, what's happening, YouTube? It's America's favorite child. It's L up here with the living legend, Larry.
There you
hey,
go.
Baby. Hey, there she go. And we hope y'all are doing well tonight. We just waiting on the lovely ladies of Life Gang to get in here, Moochella and Nita the Diva, before we do a little junk talking today about Run the World. But we're gonna end tonight for sure on stocks because we've got meme stock 2.0 going down, ladies and gentlemen. Me and Larry got to tell you guys how to play that. So, L, what are you doing in here? We're going to interview you, L. You almost a year old, and you cannot stay out of this YouTube studio.
Look at that. So she's ready. She's ready to be a star.
So today the chick came in here and took the shield that Captain America gave me and Sam. You want to tell about that? You took the shield and you used it as a merry-go-round. Remember that? Remember that? I got you on camera. I done put you on the gram. Yeah. That's Auntie Nita. That's Uncle Larry.
She looks so pretty.
Oh Lord, she would look even pretty if she was going to sleep for the night. All right, Hale. Get on up out of here.
No change.
Where you going? You. Who? No, we're not. No, it ain't. What? You want daddy? You know your mama just left out of here, right? Oh my Lord. I guess we'll be doing a little bit of a show with the baby for a few minutes, which means I'll have to use specific. Yeah, there you go. Go find your mama. There you go.
Gotta run her out of there. Let her stay. Talk about the girls.
She don't want to leave.
Hi.
Hey, your mama just left. Don't you want to go with mommy? You want to stay here with daddy? I guess we're going to have a special guest tonight, baby.
She want to hang out with you?
Yeah, she want to hang out with me. She want to take my phone cord and the cord to the computer. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, the night is already starting out wild, and we want to welcome you all to the Life Game Show tonight, where we run the world. And as I said, once we're done with running the world, we will be talking a little bit about stocks. We've got some new meme stocks they were sizzling today. Even Larry jumped on one of them, and we definitely got to talk about that. So let me greet the group here. Living Legend, how you feeling tonight?
Oh man, I am doing my thing. Just finished eating dinner a little bit, started watching a movie, and decided to hop on here and talk a little bit about this crazy show.
Boy, it's got some twist to it, don't it? And then Nita the Diva, how you doing tonight? The Nita Boo.
I'm doing great. Hey Larry, hey Lamar, hey Moochie.
What's up, everybody?
How we get a dislike already on
Don't pay that person no more.
Yeah, you can't sweat that stuff, man. People dislike probably because I got the baby up here, but you know what? I can't even say what I would really say. I'll say it with Elder. Oh, there's your mother. And Moochie, how you doing tonight, Moochella?
I am fine.
And Crystal wanted me to let you know she loves that cup. For those of y'all don't know, Moochella can put together a wine glass now. Let me tell y'all something.
That is not my doing. That is a friend of mine, and she's a subscriber to your channels.
Oh, okay.
Her name is Marcia.
Thank you so much.
And she made it. I told her I needed something special made for people.
Well, she did the damn thing. She did a great job. And I just want to say to everybody joining us, Mally Lee, Doing Gang, Troop TV, Zia Latrice, who is a regular. We love you, Zia. Gina Brown, Marcom, we love you guys. We're grateful. Please give us all a like, Now let's get this thing kicked off. And I always start off these shows with critical parts of each show or movie that I can find so that we can kind of expand on the theme of whatever that part is. And for Run the World, we all was in agreement on this last week. So take a look at what went down this week.
What's going on? Is Amari okay?
They know.
Who knows what?
The university knows. Just got an email. Somebody filed a complaint. They saw us at the park.
Are you sure? I mean, it could just be a mistake. We've been really careful. I mean, it could just... Got the email too. Fuck.
That's my favorite female character on this show, and she had pain in her voice. I mean, she acted the hell out of that scene right there. She acted the way I would expect someone who's something that's a good thing in their life just came to a screeching halt, but we'll get there in a minute. So, Larry, I started with you last night, so tonight I'm going to start with Nita because she got in here. She was the first lady on the scene, and Larry, you notice they don't got on the war hats today.
No, you know. Carbro just said it. I couldn't do it on this one.
Okay. Well, here we go. So Nita, I'm gonna give you this first whole scene, and basically, we got your girl Renee. She's out here and she's looking for an apartment. You know, in the beginning, I'm thinking she's looking for an apartment for herself, and that's not what she's doing. And she's really snappy and she's so into it. She's already got all the documents needed to get this apartment. And then as she's leaving, homeboy calls her mom. Little kid calls her mom. That sent a trigger in her brain. And then she walks by and see the basketball court where they hooping at. Break down this opening scene, Nita the Diva.
This scene kind of demonstrated to me was that, does he really take care of business, or is she really taking care of business, or is she just doing it because she wants him to leave? But the way it kind of played out, it kind of feel like that, you know, if I'm gonna wait on him to do it, I'll be waiting forever. So it felt like she just kind of like just took the reins and did what she did. And then even still, he seems like he thought that she was bluffing on that whole getting a divorce and I'm done. So, you know, I don't know. I mean, I like how she came in there like a boss. I said, she said she was a Taurus. You know, I'm a fellow Taurus too. So I was just like, oh, well, you know, it'd be like that. But she took care of that.
Yeah, I wasn't feeling the part when she said she was a Taurus because I'm a Taurus too.
I know. I was like,
just like, oh, this chick is a Taurus. Moochella, what'd you think about that opening scene?
She did show that she was a boss.
Mm-hmm.
And she was taking basically actions into her own hand, but I feel like it's gonna have repercussions.
Preach, Moochie, preach.
I feel like it's gonna have repercussions later.
Okay.
Because she's making, to me, she looked like, I know she's tired, but I feel like she's kind of making a hasty decision.
Mm-hmm.
And I like this little comment with the boy when he, you know, because that's, you know, what he said when he called her mom. And she was like, no, do not refer to me as that. And then the Harlem thing with the Nutcracker, the guy selling the Nutcracker drinks, that's like a real thing.
Okay.
Where they go selling drinks. Yeah, that's
is it infused? Is it infused with weed or something? Okay.
No, it's not always infused weed. They first started with the Nutcracker drinks. Now that weed is legal, yeah, they probably are doing that now.
Oh,
but I haven't had any taste of that.
Okay. All right. Big Larry, break down this opening scene. I can't wait for this.
The whole thing with the kid and everything?
The kid and her trying to find an apartment that we thought was for her, and turns out it wasn't.
Yeah, this just really shows that she's on some serious bull-ishery, because if you're upset, they decided they were going to uncouple or whatever they call it. And if she wants to not live with him, then get out. They bought a place together. He wants to stay. And if you don't want to live, if you don't want to be in the same space with him and he wants to stay, then it's up to the person who wants to separate to leave. It has nothing to do with, and I know the women are going to say he should leave, blah, blah, blah. It has nothing to do with male, female. It's just a matter of if you are the one that's choosing not to be together and you guys are in a marital space, be in their home, and you no longer want to be together, then you should be the one that leaves, period. And the scene here with the boy, I just thought that was funny because it was so much a smack in the face in a way that she really couldn't respond very well, because it was like he called her mom, she got mad and was like, do I look like I'm old enough to be your mother? But the fact of the matter is, yes, this kid is probably about 12 years old. We know she's in her 30s. All those women are at least 32 and up. So yeah, she could very easily have been, his mother. And then it was funny even then because he asked, are you fancy? And she kind of took that as a compliment, like, oh, yeah, I guess I am kind of fancy. And then he was like, yeah, but the courts over there, they're for all the fancy people. They didn't build them for us. They built them for all the fancy people, And then, it's sort of like this. You can see the conflict in it because it was sort of like this, okay, I'm black. I want to act like I'm down. But then at the same time, I'm sort of, I'm sort of bougie in the very people that I don't want to be considered as far as the gentrifiers. And she's more of a financial gentrifier than a racial gentrifier.
In my opinion, at that very moment when that boy broke down the difference in the basketball court, I felt like that sparked something in her. I felt like she had two big moments in this episode, and that was one of them, and another one we'll get to at the very end. But I felt like that sparked something in her that got her wheels turning, and we'll come back to that in a minute. Oh, Lord, we done lost the Mooch. We never – okay, that's true. I was about to say we never lose Moochie.
I was fixing my camera.
Okay. Well, it's your turn, Moochie. We coming to you now, and we're sticking with the theme of Renee. So very next scene, homeboy done made it present. He ain't leaving. To the point where he's in the house fixing stuff. He done went and got his Heathcliff Huxtable toolkit belt and is fixing lamps and shit all in the refrigerator. He ain't going nowhere. And she comes in right behind him and see that he's fixed it. She's kind of tickled that he fixed it. And then she got him a sandwich. I mean, you sure enough ain't acting like you want him gone. She brought the man a little bit of sandwich. He's eating the sandwich and telling her he's not going to leave because the apartment she went looking for and found that I thought was going to be for her was actually supposed to be for him. Moochie, break this scene down with these two and where they're going with him saying he's not going to leave.
Okay, well, first of all, he's fixing stuff, so he seems like he's trying to make up for what he hasn't been doing, where it got them to this point. Mm-hmm. Because everything leads to something. Even though he was doing the thing with his band, I believe they got to this point because he was putting more time into the band and not home. Mm-hmm. Even if he wasn't bringing money to the table. You understand?
Yeah, I hear you.
Okay, so now with this, and she still has her routine. She still cares for him. I believe she still loves him too, but it's just, I believe it's like a financial strain on her in regards to, I guess, keeping everything afloat. And this is not what, I don't think she got into it for that. Like she didn't, how can I say it without it sounding crazy?
She don't like the struggle part of a marriage.
Yeah, and I feel like he's making it a struggle because he wants to pursue his passion.
Okay. Larry.
Yeah, I don't think that him fixing that had anything to do with him trying to earn his keep or anything else. It's a matter of something was broke in his house, and so he fixed it. And now I think she's reading a little bit more into it than what needs to be. I mean, look at that refrigerator. That does not look like the refrigerator of somebody who's planning on leaving. I mean, that thing
he organized the fridge too.
That refrigerator is packed full. He might have time on his hand, and because I mean, let's be real. This brother is a former private equities manager. He's a smart dude who's educated. He probably needs something to keep his mind and his hands busy. And because maybe he's not doing much with the band right now since they just got back from being on a mini tour, he needs something to do. So he's fixing stuff and organizing stuff. That's what people do. I honestly don't think that had anything to do with her or with him trying to earn his keep. I think he's just doing something to keep himself busy, and she's reading too much into it.
Well, that's what she interpreted as.
Right. I was going to say
because she's self-centered and thinks everything's about her.
Well, can we talk about this sandwich that looked good as hell that wasn't self-centered and about her? Nita, I'm coming to you. You want to say something about this sandwich he's eating? Damn, brother, I'm trying to diet, and you up here eating sandwiches brought to you by the lovely Renee.
Yeah, she was so self-centered and selfish. She wouldn't have bought that sandwich. But the sandwich did look okay. But did you see how he palmed it? He just kind of like and just kind of smushed it in his hands. I was like, what the hell? I was like, I don't know, whatever. But
and the sad thing is, Nita, dudes who in shape like that, they not eating sandwiches like that on any given day. They ain't eating a sandwich like that till cheat meal day. But
he did say, you got me a burger. So he wasn't, I mean, he gonna eat it.
Right. and another thing I got from that whole conversation is that I feel like the fact that she said it in the manner that she said it is probably like the refrigerator light been broke for a long time, and he keep overlooking it and overlooking it and overlooking it, and then all of a sudden now he want to fix it. That's how it sounded to me. But I don't know. Those are them people. It is what it is. But yeah, it was an insignificant type of scene for me. And actually,
everybody gets busy in their lives.
I need them to rename this show. This show does not live up to the name that they have here. Like this should not be the name of the show. That's what I felt. Once we got
that is one of the hottest takes I've ever heard you say about this. That's a hot take right there. Because I mean, you said it, not me. That's all I'm gonna say. That's all I'm gonna say.
Okay.
You know. Okay.
I'm saying it's not being written like that. Like if it was written like that, then okay. But
well, how about we say this? Maybe they're about to turn the corner and they're gonna pick up some steam. Maybe that we're getting there. We just ain't got there yet. You know, Larry. Oh boy, I'm coming to you for this one. This is our girl, Ella. And all season long, I've been picking on Ella because she hot in the twat. And she been hot in the twat for this guy, and she been trying to do everything she can to substitute him like he is some kind of a fake form of sugar. She done use saccharin, she done use stevia, she done use sweet and low, and then she even went really, really low and used colonized salt last week that she spit out quickly. And so now, Larry, she got exactly what she want from who she want, and this is the results of it. Break down this love scene, and what did you think it meant for Ella?
First of all, is she the only one that's contracted for nude scenes in this series? Because she's the only one that they've shown naked. All the other ones are just whatever. I don't know. But
I thought about that too.
Yeah, because the other one had all you saw was her behind, but she had on a t-shirt.
Yeah.
Right.
So yeah, I don't know. Maybe so. But I mean, we knew this was gonna happen. We knew it was going to happen. She's wanted that dude back, and she keeps on trying to front like it's not what it is when he's saying about and them being back together, and she's saying we're not back together, we're just having sex. And I'm like, I feel like that kind of silliness that people put out there in their own minds is like, why even put yourself through that? Why even put yourself through that silliness? Because if he takes it, if you keep saying that and he decides to take you at your word, and then he steps out and goes out with someone else, you are going to be devastated, heartbroken. That woman would be eviscerated after that point. So she needs to stop playing those games and just realize, yes, they are back together. That's what it is. You know
what it is. Let me read a comment from.
If you haven't said the words, emotionally, spiritually, you're back together.
Yep. Let me read a comment before I come to you, Nita, from Zaya Latrice. She is agreeing with SCP. it's not good at all, which is basically what Nita said, why they call it run the world. It should be run the community. I just need to be seeing something to stream on Sunday mornings. Yeah. And I can tell you what,
community. They don't have anything to do with the community. These women literally all they do is wake up, go to work, go get drunk and drink someplace, and go dance at some random club and complain about their lives, and then they go back and do it again the next day.
Sound like a community to me.
But they don't really run anything.
All right, Nita, any thoughts on Ella just getting what she finally wanted, and we seen it coming? You ain't have to have blinders that can look into space to see this coming.
Right. Yeah. And actually, I feel like she was trying to give him a hard time, but child, she done got weak. She done got weak, and he didn't have to do nothing to prove nothing, to work back, to get back into her good graces. Child, I was like,
wait a minute, Nita. I gotta ask questions about that.
Please do. Please ask the right questions.
I gotta ask questions. Nita, what did you want him to do?
My glasses for this.
Nita, he took her on her birthday to get a cupcake. You know what I'm saying? He done came back from, where was he at? China, Japan, Europe. He done came back from Europe.
He gave up a good job overseas to come back for her. What did he have?
He did not give up nothing. He didn't give up nothing. It was the end of the assignment.
So Nita, are you trying to say that, Nita, you tried to say that he basically got the draws off of a cupcake and one glass of wine?
Yep.
Well, I mean, that's what you do when you already got a history with somebody, right? Or what do you make somebody do when they come back like that? They got to buy you a car?
The thing was that I don't know what it had to be, but it would have to be a little bit more than, and I think, and that boundary that she keeps trying to put up about them not being in a relationship, I'm just like, that's not anything valuable. That's not nothing. Like, it actually makes you look stupider to me. So I just can't. Oh my God.
She just seemed weak. She just seemed weak. She just seemed weak.
You know what I realized about these women, Lamont, is that the way they present them, with the exception of Sandy, I believe it is.
Yes, Sandy.
All the other three are wildly and recklessly immature. That's really what it is. They are just very, very immature for their age and for their position.
Yeah, because I think they're in their early 30s, but they're acting like they're in their mid 20s or something.
That's why I asked that in the first episode. Remember, I said I wasn't sure about their ages.
Right. You did say that. Yeah, and it's on you, Moochie. Did this hot, steamy scene do anything for you other than make him look more and more like Al B. Sure, son?
No.
Nothing. You got nothing.
He it didn't take that much to reel her back in.
Yeah,
she was already drunk when they got to the after hour spot that he took her to get the mac and cheese and the cupcake.
Thank you.
And I think that basically sealed the deal right there for him. So
he didn't have to do anything to seal the deal. As soon as the first time he saw her,
get the Lamont, get the panty drawers.
He got the panty drawers. Look, technically,
the first time he saw her, she kissed him, and he kissed her, and she kissed him back in the bathroom. She
did try to fight it that day, and she ran off. And then got with Whiskey,
Right. She went and got with Whiskey Dick and then the colonizer, and she realized there's nothing that I could do. There's nothing. She didn't say it, but she basically gave in at that moment.
Right. And you know what? Here's another thing about her behavior. When you try to replace your feelings for someone you really had a deep connection with by just these passerbys, old Whiskey Dick, old colonizer, and it doesn't go right, it just makes you want that other person even more, which is why me and Larry been trying to say she should have just done nothing. She should have just done nothing until she had mentally and emotionally healed enough where he couldn't Al B. Sure couldn't walk in the room and literally get in her face and kiss her, because colonizer and Whiskey Dick didn't do nothing but push her more into his grasp because she wasn't past him yet. That's all she
Right.
did.
And to me, it was like she was like, "Well, what else is out there? I might as well go back to Anderson."
Yep. So
Yeah.
But part of that is that she never got any closure with that relationship early on because she was too busy trying to act like she was in control of everything and not calling him and not taking his phone calls or answering his emails. Because when she asked him, why didn't you come back? And he was like, what did I have to come back to? You stopped calling me. You stopped answering my calls and my text messages and everything else. Well, I didn't have anything to come back to. She was too busy trying to control the situation that she didn't actually give herself a chance to heal and to talk to him and maybe to get some closure. If she had, she might have been able to move on and find somebody special.
boy, let me tell y'all something.
I don't think she's community.
We're gonna have to get Zaya Latrice on this show because this chick be bringing the fire in the comment section.
Yeah.
She
is exactly right.
She is.
No, did anybody say that they had to earn it?
I don't think she's community cat because
Did anybody say that she had to be earned?
Yes, Zaya just said that.
No, she didn't have to be earned. She gives herself. But I'm saying, who said that she had to be earned?
Said nobody earns her. She just gave.
I know, but who was that? Who was saying that she had to be earned?
No, that's a statement she's making.
Okay,
That's what I got. Her father probably didn't tell her to do it. So.
Oh, okay. All right, Mooch, we coming to you.
Y'all, listen. She has a nasty habit of jumping out of bed and putting on her clothes and running out the house. Did y'all notice that? She did it with the colonizer, and she did it with
Whiskey.
In that scene. She threw with her underwear, and she did not wash her ass.
Well, look, whiskey thing didn't even get the ship into the harbor. She technically she didn't. He didn't go up in her because he couldn't get up in her.
Wait a minute,
because she has a good pH balance and she doesn't get yeast infections or something. Because you get a nasty one, she'll learn to wash.
I was about to say he might not got the ship in the harbor, but he sure enough had the ship tip tapping on the door, Moochie, because you saw that rolling around he was doing on top of her. I'm like, bro, what in the world? All right, Moochie, this one is for you. So Renee and I'll be sure, they feeling themselves right now. They walk past a group of girls who's just they gawking I'll be sure, saying if you don't want them, I'll take them. And you see she's trying to laugh it off. Then they go meet up with her friends. Now, I don't know if y'all used to listen to this group, but Michael Jackson had some nephews called 3T. Well, that's who they met up with. Renee met up with her friend 3T, the gay version, and they was talking about her job and all the different things that they can do. Moochie, break this scene down for me.
They seem like they know the whole history of their relationship.
Yep.
And she must hee and cackle with them about what's going on. Or, she was going to work depressed. And jonesing for him. But they know everything. He even thought he was attracted, which I know he went act on it, but I kind of found that odd. And as far as with the girl saying, if you don't want him, I'll take him. That she had a change of heart with we're not together.
Right. She grabbed that hand real fast.
She grabbed his hand after that. She had a change of heart with that situation.
Sure did.
So now I think once that happened, once she saw that if she don't act on it, somebody else gonna take him. Now she gonna grab his hand and
just like Tiff's gonna end up doing with Emmett.
He's mine. You may have him once, but I got him all the time.
Here you go.
Larry, I passed the torch to you, my brother. Was there anything memorable for you in all this dining with 3T and the crew? And tell me what you thought.
I'll tell you the funny thing. The thing that stood out most to me about this particular scene is, as much as she wanted to make out this dude to be a horrible individual that they nicknamed Satan or whatever, everyone loves him. Like they're all only sort of hating on him for the time that they were in support of their girl, because other than that, they all love this dude, because the second he comes back around, they are all fully enthralled by him. Everyone, her gay friends, all the other boyfriends of her crew, I forgot there was some other people there. Everyone loves him. So, I mean, the dude must be a straight up legit guy. And they might be like, yeah, we weren't happy you left because our girl got her heart broke. But I'm sure all of them are happy that he's back, because I'm sure that they probably liked him together and they like him.
Okay. Hey, I can get with that, my brother. Well said. Neither
I'm
the
right
diva.
with
You. Oh,
I'm
okay.
right with Larry. The first thing that when I saw him, I was like, oh my God, he just exudes so much confidence and so much, like, he is so, like, very sure of himself. He knows exactly what he wants. He knows exactly what he's doing. The confidence he's giving, like, big dick energy, like to the max. And so, as long as he's like I said, I'm not faulting him for leaving, because that's an opportunity to do, whatever you got to do. And maybe he didn't handle it right. Maybe he didn't, go about it right. Or maybe she just didn't like the way he did it. And wasn't nothing wrong with the way he did it. She said 7 days, but at the end of the day, it's an opportunity. I was still reaching out to you. Like you said, everybody likes him, other than the people that has to hate him for her. But at the end of the day, I feel like he's a cool guy. Until I see otherwise, then I still think he is.
Mm-hmm. Yep, I got that same impression too. He's in command. He's in command. He showed you a high. He showed you a low. He even showed you remorse when he came back and tried to facilitate good communication with her about why he left and why it went left with their relationship. So yeah, this is definitely what you want to see in a real man, and maybe he can jump ship and go to the Shy and add something to that show. Get a little something up in there.
They'd kill him.
Come on, Larry.
Well, I thought that too, Larry. I thought
Boy,
but I thought it.
let Larry, boy, don't want to give him. Oh Lord, Larry's back to you, and boy, here's one you're gonna love. So now we're moving on to this chick who does not need to be married. Oh, Whitney. So Whitney's coming by with her prince, because she's got herself a good, confident, good black man too, and he's taking her to meet her aunt and I think her mother. And they have a little exchange that's going down up in the piece, Larry. And then they get to this scene where they're just kind of talking their own language. And they don't seem like they feeling Whitney all that hot. Larry, break this whole thing down for me.
I have a few feelings about this scene and their relationship. One of them is that I feel like that I understand that he's Nigerian and they want to have this sort of traditional ceremony and all that, but I feel like he's not fully respecting her as an American, because it's sort of like he's steam barreling over her with his Nigerian culture. And women often girls and women, they grow up with this idea of what marriage is or what a wedding day is and what they're going to look like and how it's going to be. And that's one thing when you're an American woman, and another thing when you're from some other country, whether it be from Nigeria or Japan or Uzbekistan or wherever. And I don't think that he's fully respecting the fact that she may have ideas of what she thought her wedding was going to look like. And instead, he's imposing all of his cultural identity onto her. And she's not particularly comfortable with it. And he should see that his aunts and such are not taking to her like that. And I get that he figures, okay, I'll just drop her in the lion's den. She'll survive and everything will be okay. But to be perfectly honest with, if that was me, I would be like, I'm not going to tolerate this disrespect. I'm just not going to do it. I'm not going to sit up here and have your aunts and your moms and your sisters and everyone else just be really shitty towards me. I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to sit up here and wait I'm not going to wait until the next chick comes around that they can treat like shit before they start to act right towards me. I'm not going to live my life like that. So either you get them all in check or we can bounce out.
I 100% agree that she does need to communicate her feelings if she's feeling that way. because she does
And
look
he needs to protect her, son. I mean, that's going to be his wife. He needs to protect her from the
at the end of the
bullshit.
day,
Even if it's from your own family.
if he doesn't know that this is what's going on in her mind, if he's not getting accused, you have to tell someone. I mean, maybe he really don't know, and maybe she wants to.
If he doesn't know, it's because he's willfully ignorant. Because he can recognize that he's talked about some of these things. I mean, some of the comments that she's made, like, "Oh, you have another aunt." And then he says, "Oh, in Nigeria, everybody's on." But you could recognize some of those things that are being said, that she's feeling certain ways, and stuff like when you're not showing up, when you're not prioritizing certain things, when you're supposed to meet with his family, and she's not prioritizing that. That's because something's going on there, and he needs to address it instead of just simply pushing it off to the side and just say, "Oh, we'll be okay. We'll just put it aside until after the wedding." No, you need to address it now, because that's going to be your for the rest of your life.
They need to address it. Because like you just said,
no,
you would have said, you just said to me, you would have said, "F it, I'm out." She needs to have a mouth and do the same thing.
Right. You're right. They need to address it together. They need to sit down and discuss this and work it out.
Yeah.
And it's bringing more doubt and doubt in her mind. She's already questioning, her whole entire relationship, and her not knowing herself and knowing what she wants and being able to voice her opinion based on, I've been in this relationship. But then I thought it was so rude of those women to be talking in their native tongue in front of her. That was so rude.
Yeah.
It was.
That
and then all that laughing,
she don't know what they
stop. Right.
She felt kind of uncomfortable.
It was highly disrespectful to do that. I mean, and you would expect them to have a higher sense of degree to ingratiate themselves with the woman who's about to be in your family on top of that. My grandma's never going to have a side conversation with me in our little language that we got when I bring a woman around the house that I care about. She's not going to do that. She's not going to alienate somebody. And and at the same time, my grandma would have told me, if I feel alienated, you say something in a polite manner. You ain't got to disrespect them. You say something. So coming to you, Mooch, what do you think about this whole scene? I agree with everything everybody has said.
I feel like she's kind of she's uncomfortable because of them speaking in their native tongue, and he basically just let her hear, "Okay, I'm gonna leave you with my aunt." And I think that was both of them wasn't the aunt. The other lady was just the dressmaker or whatever, and it seemed like they just picking out everything for her to wear because she has no idea about that. It looks like they're gonna have the traditional Nigerian ceremony, and they're gonna have another ceremony.
Yeah.
And maybe that might be one of the conversations they might have. But I also saw when she was fixing the headdress, because that's part of the same scene too, right?
Yeah.
She looked like she had guilt on her face at that moment too, to me.
Yeah,
when she said that, I'm lucky to have him. It seemed like she kind of like that guilt is kind of overwhelming her.
She having an Emmett moment.
Yeah, because she was with the community peen guy.
And I think part of the reason why they might be writing a blockade in her communication that me and Larry's talking about is because I think she's having such cold feet and second doubts about getting married that she's really not even into it. She's halfway into it. And I think some of that is creating her not really voicing this disrespect, her not voicing more what she wants to have going on in the wedding, because her mind is thinking about some other things that might not be involved getting married.
Right.
Boy.
And and I'm not going to jump too far ahead, but I'll just say that what's her name? I think it's Renee.
Renee.
She gave her, normally Renee is just full of BS-ery, but she actually gave her a really good piece of advice when they were sitting on that bench. So when we get to that part, I'll bring it up.
Oh, well, don't sweat it, Nita. That's the very next part, by the way. we'll start with you, Nita. Talk about the bench scene when Renee was breaking it down.
Yeah, I mean, I'm gonna let Larry give some shine to the women, but like I said, I don't know. I mean, I thought the conversation was nice. It was funny how she kept veering off on herself, trying to addressing her problems, and she's like, "Okay, we're kind of in your section now." But I thought the scene was cute, and I think she gave her some good advice. And it was like the fact that it showed their bond and how close they were, because I didn't really see that in the other episodes. I didn't know how close they were and how, they talk to each other and each other know, but maybe they don't bring it up because they don't want to offend, or, you want to give the girl space to, think about and do whatever, however she wants to process it. But come to find out, she knew all that stuff.
Okay, Moochella, break it down.
I feel like we got a little bit of the intel of her relationship with Jason Renee's, where she said that he found the band on the subway platform.
Mm-hmm.
And she said, that's what he said. She said that, and then that's when she was like, we're getting on to your subject. And I like the part where she told her, you the last thing you want to do is break the love of your life's heart. And I don't think you could live with that. So you take this to your, you keep this with you, bury it deep. Mm-hmm. And that was the best advice she gave her. The question is she going to stick to it?
And I know someone else on another show who could have used this advice if his big mouth daddy wouldn't have found out. Larry, I'm dropping it on you, brother.
Yeah, that was the advice I was going to say. That was probably the best advice that she had given her. And normally I say don't take advice from people that are getting divorced, because usually they're angry and bitter and everything else. You shouldn't take relationship advice from people like that. But she did give her a good piece of advice when she was telling her that's selfish. The idea of telling him that's selfish. That's something you did. And for him to have knowledge of it is not going to help him in any way, shape, or form. It is just going to hurt him, and it's going to hurt your relationship. So you did it. You did that dirt. You take that guilt and you bury it deep and you deal with it. And, but the other thing I want to point out here is that this is some straight up ass ghetto shit. These two chicks are sitting up there getting drunk as shit, drinking friggin' nutcrackers and smoking weed on a bench. I mean, come on now. If it was some dudes up there smoking on the corner and drinking, people would be talking about them. These chicks are up there getting bent backwards, because believe me, it doesn't take but one of them damn nutcrackers before you're done. Especially neither one of them look like they weigh but maybe $120, maybe.
She told her to drink it slow.
She did.
Yeah, but she didn't.
No.
And they're up there getting high on top of that.
Well, they stress, Larry. They stress.
Go home. You having beautiful homes. Go to one of them.
No, that you don't handle. You can't handle that type of stress at home. No. And now to relieve that stress, they go out on they go to the park, and Renee and Larry love picking on Renee. Is at the park. She done got all the girls together. She done got Sunday. Everybody's together. We going to this park. They swinging on the swing and stuff like that. And Renee starts hitting on little young boy that's having a damn cookout. Let me see, who is this? This on you, Moochie. Break down this scene for us.
Oh, it was just flirting. She didn't even go further where he said, Are you single? She didn't. She just laughed and kept it moving. But I know Larry probably got a problem with that. He's probably gonna call her a whore.
What you mean, a garden tool? The type of thing you use to plant plants? Okay. Well, Larry, since they want you to have the floor, take the floor.
Yeah, I wasn't planning on calling her anything. I was just gonna say it was really sort of one of those nothing burger. It was one of these scenes that I think is as a filmmaker, I look at this scene as sort of a storytelling cop-out, where they, instead of focusing on the women, really they use New York as another character. Like the filmmakers in New York always use New York as a character instead of focusing on the actual people in the show. And I often feel like it's a cop-out. And I felt like this is one of those scenes where they just use New York as a character, and it was really a wasted opportunity because I think they could have done a little bit more, use the screen time and do a little more character development of the ladies. Instead, it was just sort of a montage of them going from, some random barbecue to a drum circle to a little dance thing, and then on the swings. It was, yeah.
Yeah.
I would have rather them spent those 2-3 minutes with them over on the swings having a real conversation than by the time they got to the swings, it was just sort of like, oh, let me stop swinging because I feel sick. And then it was just the whole rah, rah, tell them to get out, rah, rah. It was just like they could have had a real conversation there. And I think it would have served the show better than just that little New York City montage.
Nita the Diva.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it was a nothing burger. I think it was one of those type things. She was flirting and she saw she still got it. So she was just like,
okay.
And then so she just kind of walked off. So she was like, because he was like, you got a man? And she's like, okay, yeah. As long as somebody asks, okay, I'm good.
Oh, so in other words, that was ego stroking on her behalf.
Yeah, basic flirting.
Okay. All right. I can live with that. Let's see here.
I guess she needed an ego stroke after somebody called her a ma.
Right. And then right, she needed a little stroking back.
I got one too.
So
there you go.
Yeah. So Larry, this one is for you. And I'm sorry if y'all don't like it, but anytime Erica Alexander is going to be on the screen, I'm going to get a screenshot. She's going to make my show. I am a huge fan of Erica Alexander, and they've got her up here acting a little wild again in her job, and she just meets the girls at the bar. And need I say, that bartender, man.
She needs to be a regular. She needs to be a series regular. Can we add her to the group, honorary group?
Yeah,
she's going to be.
Yeah, we need to get that bartender up in here, man. That bartender is the thing.
Every time I see her, I'm like, ooh, yes.
Yeah, I'm with you, man. That bartender, yeah, she got more life than these chicks do.
Right.
Larry, break down this little scene where they getting drunk, having discussion, and getting ready to go out.
Yeah, I mean, I'll tell you, her boss, every time I see her, I feel the same way about her, Lamont. She's so fun to watch on screen because she's so physical, and I just don't understand why this woman has not been on everybody's damn TV show and movie. I mean,
me too.
She was blackballed, they said, after living single.
Yeah, and she started
that
producing.
Was the rumor. I don't know how true it is.
She started producing too, because she's got some producer credits on this show. But the chick is talented. She's beautiful. I'm a huge fan of Erica Alexander. I hate to keep telling y'all that, but anytime I see her in something, y'all gonna see Erica Alexander. But go ahead.
She was like the highlight of this episode for me. One of the highlights of this episode.
Right. I know what you're talking about. I seen that broke chicken leg do the stanky leg. I saw her up there.
Yeah, she's funny because every time she's in a scene, she steals the scene.
She does. Yeah.
And so, like, you can have all three of those women in there, or all four of them, where the show's completely about them, and you can see Renee trying to act all extra, and you sort of don't pay attention to her because she's standing next to Erica Alexander. She's so alive, and her face is so expressive, and she's just such a physical actor. She's a lot of fun to watch, and but as far as the scene, I love the fact that she was just making no bones about it, that she was all about that. I think he was a Haitian dude. And it was just because first he was like, "Nah, I think I'm going to take my old ass home." And he was like, "No, you should go over there." And it was just like, it wasn't even take a half a split second. I think I might go over there with you.
She was definitely feeling him.
It's all you needed. It's all you need to talk about. That was so funny, though. It was funny.
It was. And it was great because the guy wasn't all douchey or anything. He wasn't all on top of it. He was just kind of like, you seem really cool. I like you too, kind of,
Right. So and that was grown people stepping to grown people, basically. So finish it up, Nita.
Yeah, I was saying that. Yeah, she was eating it up. Like, she's so expressive when she's talking, even when she's listening. Like, she was just like moving her head and her mouth, like she was just inhaling everything he was saying. Like, she was just taking it all in. That girl's a ham. I love her.
Okay. All right, Mooch is in your court. And by the way, Monique Johnson said Erica did the Wu-Tang show on Hulu.
Yes,
Oh,
she's the
really?
mother.
Okay.
She's
I might have to
RZA's
check it
mother.
out.
Oh, did she?
She's
Yeah,
She
who?
played
She
whose
plays
mom?
RZA's mother.
RZA's mother? Okay.
Oh,
That was
okay.
good.
I'm gonna have to
That
check
was
that
The
out.
I might have
second
to
season's
check it out.
supposed to come out soon.
I didn't
I
even.
know they filming it.
I just missed the whole thing. And Mooch, I know you kept saying you need to watch it. You need to watch it. It's good. It's good. And I just didn't. I'm gonna try it. I'm gonna try to
It's
catch
still
up.
on Hulu.
Okay, I'm gonna try to catch up on it, but it's on you now,
And
Mooch.
she was more serious in that role.
Okay. Okay.
With this, she was catching everything that guy was throwing at her and trying to speak French and everything. I thought that was hilarious.
Yeah, man.
And then when he was like, she was gonna go home. He was like, no, you should come. You should come with us dancing. And she went once he told her to come.
Yeah, I think we're all in agreement. Erica Alexander needs more spotlight on this show. And maybe
Just her papa that she brings life into the show for a little bit. And I think they need to use her. I think they need to use her where she's giving them a little bit more advice.
Okay.
I was about to say the same thing, and I want it to be where she's still fun and bubbly, and then when she sees him about to do something stupid, she pauses, gives him a real bit of serious, good advice, and then jumps right back into having fun. Like, I've given you the great advice, take it, don't take it, I don't care, I'm about to have fun. You know?
Exactly.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Somebody got to have some damn sense on the show. Shit.
We're gonna get to.
The
Professor
closest one is to me is Sandy, but
Yeah, I
she
was about
messed
to
up
say.
last week.
We about to
Right.
get to Sandy. She's the only one who's really got the
whole
head
damn
screwed
thing.
on right.
I'm not thinking Sandy does. I was thinking the professor does, but kind of not. He's about as got as much sense as Sandy does. They're like both halfway there.
Yeah, we'll talk about them shortly. We'll break down their situation, but here's more of this Whitney thing. Like I said, my thumbnail for this show was she doesn't need to be married. She is out here smoking weed, getting faded with just community dudes. And Mooch, this is going to be on you until Renee comes out there and save her. Break this scene down for us, Moochie.
I feel like, why does she feel like she's missing out on being with dirtbags? Like what it seems like she wants to mess around with lowlifes to me.
Yeah, like it's like Nita said, you can lead a horse to water, but you can't kick him in the ass and make him drink.
This is true.
Right.
I feel she was being very messy when she was outside.
Oh yeah, she was about to get them. She was about to get them pancakes up.
Needed to shake her.
And the thing that was transcending for me, look at who came out there and shook her up and drug her away. Larry, speak on it.
Yeah. This is just disappointing. You know, I would understand if she was engaged to somebody and she was 25 and she was like, well, you know, I met him my freshman year in college. We've been together the whole time. And she was like 23, 24, 25, but she's in her 30s now. It's like the time that you had all your thoughts about, I want to go out there and play around and do all that. That should have been come and gone. And that's why I say these women are so immature, because they're doing things now in their 30s that they should have been gotten out of their system in their 20s, you know? And I mean, because you're right. You have a doctor that's attractive, that loves the friggin' stink on your breath. And she's up there wanting to hang out with these random ass dudes outside some club while she's drunk on friggin' nutcrackers and high. I mean, she's supposed to be the real deal. She's supposed to be the one with the fist in the air talking about world domination and leading stuff, and she's up there acting like she's some random hood rat. I don't get it. I expect better from her.
Zaya Latrice again. And Zaya Latrice, go ahead and get you a StreamYard account and get on the camera with us. This chick gonna say, I'll take him if she don't want him. But all right, Nita, you get the last point on this little outside conversation with Whitney and Renee.
Right. I'm just so disappointed. I've been typing in the chat with everybody, telling everybody, I'm like, this is just a mess. Like you said, it should have been done a long time ago. I don't like. I said everybody likes a character arc, but I don't think that you have to portray people in such a bad light in order to have them have a character arc. So I don't know. I'm not. I'm not feeling it. I'm not feeling the writing on it. It just doesn't feel right. Like I don't feel like mature people would like. I don't understand what things. You cannot close my. Don't get fed. Like you have to say something. People cannot read your mind. So, if he's a little bit more in tune with her, and I even feel like he has a certain responsibility to honor her culture as well. Like, don't let your family steamroll her like that. Like, I don't know. And I just feel like all these things together is just making her go through this little crisis, and like she just doesn't know. Like, so it's just like a mess. Like I said, who retitled the show?
I mean, I will say this. I have to give shout out to her girl for going out there and getting her and not letting her do something stupid again.
Right.
So shout out for going to retrieve her dumb self. But I think I think this is one of those problems sometimes when you hang out with certain people and you're influenced by them. She's seeing her girls out there who's run around the city living this life. I mean, you have your one friend right there who's had 3 dicks in her in the last week, and you have your other girls that have lived their lives, and she's up there talking about, I never went through that. I've only been with this guy. He's the only dude I've ever been with except for Community Peen. And she's thinking that she's being made to feel like that's a terrible thing. If that's the only dude that you've loved and that's the dude you want to be with, you don't have to feel some sort of way about that and feel bad. Like you need to go out there and be with. What do you want to do? You want to go out there and get genital warts or something and bring it back to your man? You want to go out there and get AIDS or herpes or gonorrhea, any of the other plethora of venereal diseases that you can get? I mean, be happy that you have a guy that is on 100% with you. I mean, this dude loves you.
He loves legit. Her.
He's a doctor. He's good looking. I mean, just like other women said about what's her name's guy. If you don't want him, I'll take him. I can guarantee you, if she does not want him, that dude will be married off within the next year.
Yeah. Well, all right. We'll move on to the next one, and this one is going to be On You, Nita the Diva. And so now we're in the club, we shaking, we dancing. For me, the only thing that I enjoyed about this whole club scene was, of course, Erica Alexander doing that half knee bend stanky leg. I enjoyed the hell out of that. But I want you to expand on, what did you get from this whole club scene, the red light special?
I don't think, was there anything to get from that?
That's why I'm asking.
I enjoyed it a lot. I just enjoyed just the whole vibe it was given. Like, I just felt like, sometimes you just need those moments where you can just kind of like let loose and, just dance. Yes. And this is the scene that I was saying that Erica had one of the best scenes in the episode, because she was hilarious. I was cracking up. Renee looked good in that dress too. I like the way they're styling the girls. They look really good this episode. So yeah. So shout out to that. But Matt saying come home is urgent. Already knew that kiss was gonna play out to be something, because we got the foreshadowing in the previous episode where he said, let's just come out and come clean and say it. And we had a discussion about it. We said it's in his contract. He knows what he's supposed to do, and it's better than living in secret. And she totally fumbled the ball with that. She fumbled so bad, like it's so bad. Like there's no excuse to make for her. It's just not nothing. It just is what it is.
He couldn't help himself. He kissed off.
He couldn't. Yeah, but Moochie, it's on you now. It's on you now, Moochie.
I love the music that they was playing in that party scene.
Oh yeah, that's my favorite song.
I was enjoying it, the music.
And the eggplant though. The eggplant for Ella. She got the eggplant emoji. I say, yes, that's exactly what you want when you go to the club and have a good time. Yes. Send me
you
the
get one of those
eggplant.
texts.
We'll go home and get it popping.
That was her warm bottle of milk for the end of the night.
Oh my Lord, have mercy. Literally. That was literally.
Yeah,
Go
she
ahead,
does
Mooch.
like
It's
a
on you.
That text with her getting the text from Matt. She didn't know what was going on, but like when we saw the kiss at the park, and when they slowed it down, I said this is gonna come back to haunt them.
Mm-hmm.
It was kind of predictable, but I said, we saw this coming, and I felt like they should have came forward with it to the committee before they could get exposed.
Right.
Okay. All right. Larry, anything from this club scene so that we can just move on to talk about Matt and Sunday?
Nah, this is another one of those nothing burgers where this whole episode in a lot of ways just seemed like it was about New York and not really about the girls. You know,
So
it was
you feel
this
the
was another
same
one
way?
of those New York scenes that they used as a crutch. And they really could have spent more time storytelling about the women instead of them just out there partying. I mean, it was fun seeing what's her name, Erica Alexander in there. She was great. It was fun watching her in there. I mean, they could have skipped everything else about this and just showed her in there dancing with dude or something and having a good time partying. Because
I mean, it's kind of a filler, but I don't think so. I think a lot of plot points happen. Like, we got the thing that we got to discuss at the end. There were a couple things sprinkled in there.
I'm not saying they shouldn't have done it. It was just too long. I
Well,
think they spent too much time on there.
Oh, okay.
That's probably what it is.
Yeah,
Right.
it was called Harlem. So maybe, Larry, everything that you feel was the point of the episode.
I guess my thing is I wanted to see Harlem through their eyes. And what I really felt was I felt more like I was seeing Harlem experiencing the women instead of the women experiencing Harlem.
Okay. All right. Let's see here. Moochie, this one's going to be on you to start. So Matt done told her it's urgent, come home. And when they get home, this is the opening scene I played from the very beginning. He done got the email. Somebody spotted them out together. And then right then she checks her phone and damn, she got the email too. Moochie, break this scene down. We discussed this last week. And I had said last week, I felt like Masande was feeling like she had more to lose than Matt. And me and Larry both said, in all honesty, he's the one who's already in his profession and could lose tenure, could lose his retirement, could lose everything. But he still was trying to make a way to go forward with her, and she didn't want to do that. And now the chips are falling down. Moochella, break it down.
He looks stressed.
Yeah, man.
Mm-hmm.
He looks stressed, like I'm really about to mess up my career. And I should have just went with my gut and told everything. And she was just worried about what other people were going to think about how she got her I guess her career with her educational background. Like he was basically a stepping stone for her.
Right. When he's not. He said
wasn't.
that
She outright earned it herself.
Right.
She was well established before they got together.
Exactly.
And I feel like they should have, coulda, woulda, shoulda, but she should have. She should have did the committee thing.
Right. Larry, this is on you, man. Do you think this is going to tear apart the relationship? This type of thing can put a fracture on a relationship. They're not even married. They're in a relationship. Do you think they're going to be able to survive this, my brother?
I don't know. It's going to be damaging. And I think part of it is and I said this before, and I know people sort of got on me a little bit in the comment section. And I said I thought this was really selfish of her not to want to go forward when he said, let's do it, because she doesn't have nearly as much to lose as he does. She has people looking at her sideways and maybe questioning how she got to where she's gotten, whereas she already knows how she got there. Like he said it, you had your fellowship in all this before you even met me. You had everything before you met me. So she knows how she got there. She may have people questioning how she got there, but she knows the truth. Where on his side, this could cost him his job. It could cost him his career, so he can't even go and work in this field anymore. And he has a daughter, a house, and a life that he has to pay for, and he may not be able to do that anymore, you know? And so, I mean, for her to not want to have gone forward because she's more worried about her reputation than she's worried about his job and his career and his daughter, really just spoke to the sort of a level of selfishness that he probably should have run away from, you know, because somebody tells you, like, it's one of those sort of jokes that men tell boys when they're kids. They say, when you take a girl out on a first date, you know, go ahead and open the door for her, let her in, and then slowly walk around the back of the car and watch and see if she leans across the car to open up your door. And if she doesn't, that's a selfish bitch, and don't go on a second date with her, leave her alone, because what you were seeing is just the tip of the iceberg, and there will be much more to come. And when you see a level of selfishness like that, you need to take it for what it is, and you need to run the other direction.
I ain't never heard that one. And
That's from Bronx Tale.
Oh, okay.
They put it in the Bronx Tale, but that's an old tale that people been saying for a long time. But you're right, they did say that in the Bronx Tale, and it's true. It's true. I tell people, if you go out with a girl, go ahead, put her in open the door for her, put her in, and walk around the back of the car slowly and see what she does.
I think we need to add some more to that. For me, it would be when you go on a date with a woman, if she offers to pay, like she just says, you want me to get this, that's a good sign. Of course, you ain't going to let her do it, but if she offers to do it, that's a good sign, because I can recall the first time, my first date with Crystal, I got in her car before she got in mine. And she didn't reach over to open no door for me, but you know what she was willing to do on that date? She said, do you want me to pay? And I said, of course not, I don't want you to pay. No, girl, I know I'm going to marry you, but I digress. Nita, I give it to you.
Now, if ever I was to say that I feel like the man should have pushed harder, it is this situation. You cannot play with my livelihood at no cost at all. So I really feel like he should have really pushed her on that, because absolutely not. The risk was too great that we can't even play with my livelihood. That's not what we're doing here. So, I just really, really wish he would have pushed harder, because like I said, I understand where she was coming from, but at the end of the day, that ain't shit. Like, girl, shut up. That ain't got nothing to do. Girl, if he lose his job, what is you talking about? Girl.
Yep.
So yeah, no.
Wow.
Yeah, I was just like,
you're not going to want to be with him if he loses her job. If he loses his job and he can't stay in that nice brownstone in the city, and he now has to move out to Staten Island or something, or has to leave the state because he can't, because his reputation is shot, and his only job opportunity is going to be some non-tenured position in Boise, Idaho. She's not going to go with him, But what's going to happen with her? She's going to stay there. She's gonna stay there. She's gonna get her PhD, and then she's gonna move on with her life.
We're gonna see what she made of, Larry. Of all the women whose character I like, and I find the most long-term investments with, is definitely Sunday. And I think she might be the one who, when her man hits a hard spot, is going to be resilient and help get him through it.
I agree. If there's one of them that's going to do it, it's likely going to be her. And I hope she does do it. I hope when they have to go in front of that committee, I hope she says the right things so that the burden, first of all, I hope she says the right thing so that neither one of them get in trouble. But if one of them has to get in any sort of trouble, I hope it's just simply her, because they're not going to do anything with her. I mean, all they're going to do is say, okay, well, maybe they'll give her some sort of verbal reprimand, but that means nothing. Okay, sorry, it won't happen again. The relationship's been established. We're putting it on the record now, and you move forward.
Gotcha. Well, ladies and gentlemen, we are to the last two parts of Run the World, and when we're done with this, we'll drop a couple of stock tips on you guys. If you're finding us for the first time, please subscribe. We've got 59 people watching. Can we get 59 likes to drown out the stupid dislikes we got at the very beginning of this video. And Larry, this one starts with you now, my brother. Is we back to the homegirl Whitney. She walks into a house where it's a guy that really, really loves her. Look at this note. Save you some oxtails. You know you want it. Eat up and eat it. I love all of your meat. And then, and then there's a little picture. Then she goes all up in there. She grabbing the damn oxtail, eating the hell out of it until this one moment, Larry. She looks up and she's reminded again of how much this dude is up her butt. I mean, he up her butt so far he can tickle her spine. And that made her so sick on her stomach, she threw her oxtail and then gave us this look of despair. Larry, first deal, what is going through her mind, my brother?
When I first saw that scene, my first thought was that wedding photographer or that the person who did that engagement photo did such a good job with that. I was like, that nice. Is such a fantastic wedding save the date photo.
Yeah, that's nice.
I was like, that is I was like, I think I'm gonna straight jack that pose the next time I'm asked to do one. So anyways, other than that, man, I mean, this is just another example of how she's being just eaten apart inside by her guilt. And unfortunately, the guilt isn't enough to prevent her from doing it again, because we already see that in the absence of her friends pulling her back from bad decision making, she's going to continue to act out. And so she needs to stop this wedding train and get off of it before they get married and she destroys this man's life. I mean, she's already going to wreck him, right now, because they've been together and he has complete faith in her. He believes that she's the one and that they're together and that they're special together. And she may love him, but she's thinking for whatever reason that her life's not going to be whole until she runs out there and acts like a little hoe and sleeps around with a bunch of random ass dudes. And so she's going to destroy him right now and while they're dating, or she's going to destroy this man later when they get married and she starts sleeping around with other people while they're dating, whether it be because she's traveling from work and sleeps with some random dude she met at a conference, or sleeps with a coworker, or sleeps with some dude at one of the clubs that they're constantly going to. She's going to mess up and do it again, except they'll be married at that point. So she should just stop this. Stop the wedding train before it's too late.
Okay. Nita the Diva, your thoughts on this whole scene? Whitney looked sick.
Look, she looks disgusted with herself.
Right.
Yeah. She looked like Beyonce in that movie with Idris Elba when they had the crazy white chick. That's what she looked like right there.
Obsessed.
Yes. She's obsessed with guilt and many other things going through her mind. Like, why can't I keep my JJ off of these random penises? But go ahead, Nita.
Yeah, I was saying that she has that image syndrome that, writers want to try to write into the story. And I don't know. I think they're gonna be real cliche with it. I think she's gonna walk out on the wedding. She's gonna jill him at the altar. I don't think she's gonna be able to do it at the end of the day. I don't think she's gonna handle it right and do it in advance. I think she's gonna go through with the whole wedding thinking that she's gonna try to stomach it, and at the end of the day, it's gonna I think the dude Community Ping gonna blow up the spot too. That's gonna happen. He's gonna blow up the spot, and then she probably ain't gonna have no choice but to walk away. So I don't think that they are gonna get married, and she is losing a good man, and I hate to see it.
I hear the vitriol and the hate in your voice the way you said it. Moochella, finish us off, because damn, she hate to see a good man wasted.
I'll finish it off with Guilt. Guilt. That was when she looked at that picture, that's what she saw, guilt.
Yeah.
So just
she wasn't even looking at herself, she was looking at guilt.
So get rid of the name Whitney and replace it with Guilt and Ola.
Guilt and Ola. Yep. Guilty and Ola. Guilt
Wow.
and Ola. That's what that picture said to me when she saw it. It would have been fly if they did that. But
Well, this what I want to ask you, Moochella. You up in New York, is the oxtails really that good that when you see something like that, you're gonna throw them away?
I don't know. Not if my friend Patricia, if my sister-in-law Patricia made them. Nah, I couldn't throw those out.
That's what I'm saying.
Y'all eating cold oxtails though? You just eating them right out the refrigerator? Is that what we do?
Not like that. They would have. Pat would have left them out for me.
Nah.
Like, okay, she's not gonna heat them up or nothing.
She was drunk and high. She was probably just hungry.
Yeah, she had been drinking those nutcrackers, so she probably thought it was hot.
She probably drunk, so it don't matter anyway.
And remember she was puffing on that vape pen all day.
And she got the munchies
with them dudes.
She got the munchies.
Yep. All right, here we go. Last scene of Run the World, episode 4. Moochie, we coming your way. I told you Renee had 2 awakenings in this episode. The first when the little boy broke down the basketball court and her being bougie. And the second one when she texted your boy and told him, and you know what? He listened to her. He listened. He said, got your text. Big moves. I'm out. And not only was she looking for him when she came home, which tells me that it feels like she's on this vicious cycle where we act like we're going to break up, but we never really do. And I never have to ever in my heart feel like he's going to go until this moment right here. And then you see the pain on her face. Look at the pain on this girl. You know, they should have had a picture where her and Whitney was rubbing foreheads. Guilt and suffering right together. Moochella, I start with you. Break this scene down.
Now, I wanted to talk about the text message earlier, but we didn't touch on it.
Right.
And she sent it so fast that she didn't even think about it. She just was, moving her little finger so fast, sending this text, not thinking it through. And to me, when she bought him the breakfast that morning, she didn't want him to leave. To me, she wanted to see if he's going to leave. And she's so used to crying wolf with their relationship. I'm leaving you. We're going to get a divorce. Yeah, it's just a normal cycle with her, with him and her. Like, okay, I'm leaving you. I want a divorce. And then, boom, they're back together again.
This is what, Larry, I'm coming to you. This is what grown people do. My grandma told me one thing that I learned the hard way, and it's been a lesson for me my whole life. People can only get away with what you allow them to get away with. And Homeboy's been allowing her and him to have this ongoing volatility in their relationship. And I guess now he just said, you know what, F it. Larry, take the wheel, brother.
Yeah, when I before I got married, my mom's not big on giving advice, but one of the things that my mom told me before I got married, she said that when you get married, she said, do not bring up the D word unless you are absolutely serious about it. Do not use it as a negotiating tactic. Don't use it and throw it around because you're mad. Only use it if you are absolutely serious about it. And I think that's something that this woman probably needs, a lesson she probably needs to learn, because she's been throwing that word around and using it as a tactic, and it is now turned around and bit her right in the tail. And and I think at some point, this is one of the problems I think with when people get together with their, and I know women think that dudes ain't shit, that dudes are always trying to encourage their friends to do terrible stuff, but dudes really aren't like that. But you saw how these women were up there just egging her on. Get him the fuck out. Get him the fuck out. And they're dancing and cheering, all drunk and stupid acting. And she goes on and sends that text and blows her marriage up in real life. When her friends are gone back at home with their men, she's up there by herself thinking, look, the fuck did I just do? But dudes, on the other hand, dudes would be like, man, what are you doing? Do you really want to go back out there and hit the club scene and go find all these ratchet ass women again? You want to go back through that again? You know what's out there. We've been out there. We've all been. We know what's out there. You got what you got because you realize I have a good one here. I'm keeping her instead of trying to go find some other chick. So I think the girlfriends probably need to shut up and stay up out her ear unless they're going to really give her good advice, because what they're doing now is egging her on to do stupidness. And now she's going to find herself by herself. And she's already starting to feel like, damn, am I starting to get old? I got these young boys calling me ma, and I'm having to ask to come on, flirt with these young boys to validate my to validate myself. She's already starting to feel like she's reaching the top of the hill, and she might be heading down on the back end. And the reality of it is she needs to just stay with her husband. Her husband didn't do anything that's divorce worthy. He didn't put hands on her. He didn't cheat on her. He spent some money poorly. Okay. He spent some, I've spent money poorly. My wife has spent money poorly. We both got into arguments over money. I had never once in my life thought about leaving my wife over some damn money. Money is something that you earn today so you can spend it tomorrow. Even if you save it, you eventually plan on spending it. Either you spend it on buying something or you spend it by giving it to somebody else. But money is earned to be used, and he used it. He just didn't use it in a way that she cared about, that she cared for, and didn't like that he did it without asking her permission. I get that. But
it's not a reason to get a divorce. It's just a conversation. I don't think
that's not a reason to get a divorce. That should have been a conversation they should have had, because that was their savings. That was their nest egg.
I agree, but that's not a reason to get a divorce.
Yeah.
I agree.
Nita, we finish it on you. Where we're going to go with Renee? Is this going to be the shaking she needs? And the one person in that whole friend circle that I would have recommend she call, she can't call her now because she's reeling with the news between her and Professor Matt. So where we going to go with Renee?
I think her and Whitney are still going to keep on trying to be there for each other. But at the end of the day, I think she was, I can only speak for me. I know when I was ready to get a divorce, I knew what it was. And once it actually happened, I still felt something. You still gonna feel something because you made vows and you spent your life with this person and you thought it was gonna be forever. And even though they sat up there and manifested, get the fuck out, they manifested that. They actually put that energy out in the universe, and that thing came back real fast. So you gotta be careful. You gotta be careful what you do. But I think that she really wanted to do it, but I just think that you still feel that type of a little bit of a loss, a little bit of, damn, my marriage failed. I mean, it is what it is, and it can hurt you and hit you the way it's going to hit you, because it's like a loss. It's a grief. It's a, one of those type things. So, like I said, you asked for it, you got it, baby. You asked for it, you got it.
Now, I gotta recognize these comments, man. Y'all was funny, man. I swear, some of y'all could be comedians. I had no interest in this train wreck until I watched this review. Well, Telstar send us a check while you're at it, D-Weed. And then Monique Johnson. Out of all the ladies, this episode, Ella was the only one happy at the end. Yeah. And Ella been trying to get happy endings for a long time. So you know what? Here she goes. She got her happy ending.
She knew where her happiness lay. She just didn't want to have to acknowledge. She didn't want to admit it and go get it. And she finally did.
Right. I think Renee gonna try to get him back, though.
Huh?
I think Renee is gonna try to get him back.
Probably.
You
know what's gonna happen is that what's gonna happen.
I just think so, because now that her friends are so used to her doing this too, where they probably didn't think she really was going to send a text message.
Probably. I think what's going to happen is there's going to be a little tension between her friends, because all of her friends are starting to go through stuff with their men, and they're going to be, and she's going to go there with her normal, start talking about her type of attitude, and someone's going to snap and say something like, you have a good man in a marriage and everything else, and you just blew it off because you just were being controlling or selfish, or someone's going to say something slick and it's going to cause a little rift between them, and they're all going to get an argument because she's going to shoot back at Whitney and say something. You have a great man as a doctor, and you're up there screwing Community Peen, and they're all going to get up there and say something, and then they'll eventually call back together and commiserate as friends and all. But I think there has to be a little tension, a little conflict between them at some point. Because right now it's all too much of a big love factory.
Okay. Go ahead, Nita.
I got one point I want to make about Ella in that sex scene. Loved it. It was so good. It was so, it was good. The thing was, you remember when she had that conversation with him earlier in the episode, and she was saying that, he said, did I ever make you cry from sex? Or no, she said, did I ever make you cry? But they were talking about sex. It was implied. And she was like, not from sex. And I said, that's what you do when you want to get it in real good. You got to make sure you let them know that, no, you ain't make me cry. And you see, he looked like he's putting in some work with that one. So that's what I want to say.
I took that differently because I didn't take that as I took it as when he said it to her, he was talking about, they were talking about sex, but her reply back to him, I think, was just throwing shade. It was more of her hurt feelings, and she was saying, no, not from sex. She was really talking about, you made me cry because you left and broke my heart. It was just more shade that she was throwing at him.
Right. But it's a teachable moment, ladies. Don't prop them up about sex if you want to get something better next time.
Oh my
God! How many NBA All-Star games can a brother put out? Once he reached the mountaintop, it ain't gonna never get no better than that if you're in a monogamous relationship. My goodness, Nita.
What? Come again?
But Nita is saying, don't ever tell a man that he did a good job. In essence, is what she's saying. If you want him to do better the next time. Well, if the man done gave you his Mount Everest, his very best, it ain't going to be nowhere else he can go. What do you want him to do?
Not if you be like, yeah, you was all right.
Right. They're going to try to outperform themselves. Yeah, I'm telling you.
Look, if that's all the bullets he got, if he ain't got no more trick, what y'all want to do? Hang from the ceiling and get it?
You gonna find
one? They got swings and stuff.
Swings.
I'm gonna tell you. I'll tell you right now. If you don't give a man enough encouragement, he will go find encouragement elsewhere.
Yeah, so, and it's a whole lot of for the Grahams out there that'll give him encouragement when he really ain't done nothing. Y'all know that Graham is the devil.
If you listen to men who have cheated and you ask them 9 times out of 10, if you ask a dude who cheated, it wasn't about, oh, she was just so hot I couldn't take it. It was about, usually it was, she made me feel special. She made me feel good. She made me feel good about myself again. She made me feel she made me feel something I haven't felt in years. And if you just start thinking, oh, I'm gonna start withholding. I'm gonna start withholding praise because I want something more.
No, sometimes as a couple, you get stuck in a rut. You do the same positions all the time. You do look. We've all been there.
That's why I mentioned the thing about the question.
I'm telling you, if you play it like this, you're gonna get something a little better the next time. I'm sure of it. That's how y'all egos work.
I'll just say this from a man's perspective: if you play games, be prepared to lose.
Right. Play pussy, get fucked. You gotta be sure. Be sure.
I thought she was going to say
prepared to lose. That's all I'm going to say.
I thought she was going to say play pussy, you bleed. But hey, just tell you where our minds is at.
Not that graphic.
Hey, she went there, so I went there too. But ladies and gentlemen, that concludes our review for Run the World Season 1, Episode 4. Please come back and check us out next Tuesday. We will have
predictions from you.
No what?
No predictions from you.
I predict this is going to be a rift between Professor Matt and Sunday. I certainly predict that Renee is going to get off her damn high horse with the Gucci bag and realize she had a decent man, but they need to get the communication fixed. And I do think that Community Peen is going to rear his ugly head somewhere up in Whitney and Ola's relationship and probably cause them to separate and maybe even have a fight. Those are my predictions. That's it.
I already said Renee is gonna she probably gonna try to get him back.
Yeah, definitely.
I think she realizes the error in her ways.
I don't think they're gonna fight, but I agree. I think that Community Peen's gonna show back up. I think what's gonna happen is she's gonna go out there and soil her royal oats, as people say. But when she gets done and she's ready to be serious, she's gonna go back and find that Ola has moved on with his life and may have already gotten married. And then she's gonna question, did he even ever love me? If he ever loved me, how can he go get married to somebody after 6 months or a year? And
I mean,
when you're not realizing that when people get to a certain age and they're ready to get married, they don't need to waste a lot of time. They know what they're looking for, and they go right to the people who have what they're looking for.
Yep. Grown folks don't need 3 years to know if this is someone you can get married to. Grown folks don't need to know that. So we'll end it there. And ladies and gentlemen, for my folks that's into the stocks, I sent Larry a message this morning, and he jumped on it, but he jumped on it late.
I got a low profit off of it.
Okay. So there is something that we're going to call meme stocks 2.0. Let you take a look at this clip, and then we'll break it down.
Well, suddenly, David, your favorite, obviously, Reddit.
Yeah, oh yeah, my favorite.
Right, which I know you've always felt was Goldman Sachs, what Morgan Stanley, they like it. And I've got to tell you, while it is a great company, and I want it to be higher, and my wife had a Baconator during vacation, which, is obviously a bulk up situation.
Sure.
She doesn't know I have a 9 o'clock show. It's always good. It's been 10 years. But one thing that is amazing to me, David, is there are many people on Wall Street who have tried to move stocks, pound the table. I'm taking Wendy's from hold to buy, and I love it. I'm making it a USA One, and the evidence lab says it's good. Does nothing.
No, and then you get something like this, which you can't even really gauge exactly where it's coming from, and now the stock is up perhaps as much as a quarter of its value is going to be added, a quarter of its value today. And it's not the only one. This Chamath Palihapitiya stock, Clover, that was originally a SPAC that Clover merged into, is another one that is benefiting enormously from what seems to be, Jim, the focus on obviously stocks with high short interest and or ones that just the chatter just continues to pick up, and this Wall Street Bets community / Reddit that you refer to gets it moving. He has played to them, has Mr. Palihapitiya to a certain extent. I think, remember back around the GameStop when that first started.
Right.
And obviously now that stock is benefiting. What's interesting here as well, though, Carl, is that in terms of looking at the capital markets, there is going to be a real reluctance amongst some investors to short stocks.
Yes, that's really important.
Frankly, for a functioning capital market, as much as people may not like certain short sellers, but obviously a lot of investors do it just as a hedge. It's necessary, Jim, isn't it? And if you're reluctant to do it, it does throw things off balance a bit, perhaps.
Well, the markets tend to be way too wild. I mean, I think that there are a lot of people now who say, well, I hope they go after Wendy's. The next Wendy's. Maybe I'm in the next Wendy's.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, let me pull up my portfolio. So we've got 2 new stocks that call themselves meme stocks that the Reddit crew really, really likes. I sent this message to Larry this morning. One of them is Clove Chamath Palihapitiya. He's the owner of this one. I've got 2 of his stocks, 100 shares. This morning when I sent Larry the message, the stock was way down here. It was even lower than this. It was like $13 this morning. And then it went up to a high of, $23. Then it tapered out at about 20. And I told Larry, I said, Larry, Reddit has found 2 other stocks that they see short interest in, and they're going to be propping it up. And I told Larry last week about Workhorse too, and Workhorse has been on a steady increase as well. So for all my investors out there, if you're the type that likes to make gambles on these stocks that are being shorted and propped up by Reddit, you want to jump on Clover Health, you want to take a look at Wendy's, and you definitely want to get back on the Workhorse. And let me show you what it's done. And it was a darling of the meme stocks last year. So in the last week, Workhorse has gone up $7.
That's amazing.
My God. Yeah. $7 in the last week for Workhorse, my people. And I text Larry last week and I said, Larry, the memes is about to make Workhorse go up. And he was like, should I get some? And I said, hell yeah. That's what I said. And this morning when I texted him, he didn't reply to me till the afternoon because he's sleeping. And when he did reply, he jumped in and still made some money on Clover. So my people, if you have a couple of dollars to blow, act like that's what it is, because these stocks are having such high volatility, it's probably not going to stay on this run long. But if you're going to jump in, you need to be by your computer or your phone most of the day so that as you see the volatility coming down, you can jump your ass out of it and take your profits. Larry,
and don't jump in on money that you need. Don't put money in it that you can't afford to lose.
Exactly. Not on these. So our tips for you of the day, hot buys to keep an eye on: Clover Health, Wendy's, and Workhorse. Jump on them. Leave me comments on what you think. And until that next Sex is Hell video, which will be tomorrow, when me and Larry gonna break down Loki. We ain't like the special people who get to see episode 1 and 2 hours early and stuff. We don't get to see it that early. But we will break it down tomorrow at 9 p.m.
It drops at midnight, right?
It drops at midnight or 3 a.m.
3 o'clock.
It's midnight if you're on the West Coast.
Right. Eastern.
Yeah. So check it out tonight. Me and Larry will review it tomorrow. Be sure to like everybody's channel and subscribe to everybody's channel on this panel. And until that next Sex is Hell video, we'll see you.
One more thing. We're going to do polls to my channel next.
Oh, go over to Moochella's channel right now. They're about to do polls. And I'm about to go do a Heisman pose laid across the bed with my baby. I'll see y'all tomorrow.
Peace, y'all.
Peace.
Later.